I haven't made a top 7 in a while, and since it's Halloween I figured I'd do something horror related, but also cartoon related because that's what I talk about a lot on this channel. So I'm going to do a top 7 of the scariest Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes. Courage is a show that never really scared me a lot, but it did creep me out. And this list is more personally what creeped me out. They're not necessarily the scariest to everyone, so keep that in mind. Number 7 is Courage in the Big Stinkin' City. Not all of this episode is scary, but there's one particular part of the episode that creeps almost everybody out. And that's when Courage is going through the building and he opens a door and there's a claymation girl playing a violin. And then she turns around and scares Courage. I think anyone who watched the show can recall that scene. And also the scene where Schwick is like, "You wanna know what made these bones? You don't want to know what made these bones." Number 6 is the House of Discontent. Since Eustace and Muriel presumably live on a farmland, but they don't grow anything, this spirit comes to haunt the house. And the spirit comes in the form of a disembodied head. A live-action head, that is, which is a big contrast from the animation, so it gives a bit more discomforting feeling. Number 5 is Hothead. Now this one's a bit more personal to me, because every time this episode came on in reruns, I always kinda dreaded it. Eustace visits this place that gives him an experimental hair growth formula, but there are some explosive side effects to it. I think the reason this affected me so much is because people can really explode in their anger. Not literally, but figuratively. Number 4 is Heads of Beef. Courage and Eustace stop by this highway diner, and they serve burgers, but Courage suspects that they use something other than beef. Anytime there's involvement of making food out of people, I'm kinda freaked out. Or if the food is tampered in some way. Like that scene in the Good Burger movie really creeped me out as a kid. I actually stopped eating burgers for like a year, because it just reminded me of that scene. Number 3 is Profiles in Courage. In this one, an artist makes these silhouette cutouts of Eustace and Muriel, and the cardboard silhouettes suck the life out of them. Just the image of them being dead and lifeless there is really scary. They even have empty eye sockets, and that's really grotesque. This isn't the first time they've had the life sucked out of them, but this is by far the freakiest moment of them. Number 2 is Perfect. This is actually the final episode of the show, and it's about Courage not feeling adequate enough. And there's this schoolmaster that sort of beats him into shape, which is or is not part of Courage's imagination. I don't know, I'll have to rewatch the episode to make sure. This list is really just based off memory. But the part of this episode that people remember is when Courage starts dreaming, and he dreams up this 3D weird thing that has stuff around it, and it's creepy. And it just whispers, "You're not perfect." And that scares Courage to wake up, and it scared a lot of people. Again, this is contrasting with the 2D animation. It's 3D animation when he dreams. And for my number 1, I have Cabaret Courage. This is where Courage, Eustace, and Muriel end up in this cabaret lounge type place. But it's inside the stomach of this star. And this star, apparently he became so bitter that he became an ulcer inside of his own stomach and took over the lounge. Anything to do with deformed organs always creeps me out. Which is why the Dark Harvest episode of Invader Zim still kind of freaks me out. I know some people might say it's gross, not scary, but gross can be scary. Just look up trypophobia. That's gross, but it's also scary. Don't look it up. It's really freaky. Don't look it up. Anyway, those are my top 7 Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes that are scary to me. They're not necessarily the best episodes, but they're the ones that freak me out. So which Courage the Cowardly Dog episodes scared you? Tell me down in the comments, and if you want to see another top list of scary things, check out Saber's list of the top 10 scary things in animation and cartoons. And I will see you next time. Bye. I'd like to thank all of my patrons this month. Thank you so much for supporting me. It really helps a lot. And if you'd like to become a patron, please click the annotation, or the link in the description below. And if you want to see more top lists, click on the playlist. And if you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.